we can't get away from this Tom Brady situation, and we won't get away from it until he's signed with a new team. Now, I guess there was news today. I don't know if she meant it as news, but Diana Russini of ESPN was on Get Up today dropping jewels. Now, I don't know if she'll come out later and say, I wasn't reporting anything. I was just talking, speculating. But she made some very strong statements. I'm going to have Rob G read them. But essentially, she was saying, there ain't that much interest in the GOAT, Tom Brady. Rob G, read what she said.
That's right. She said, I don't think any of us have really considered that maybe some of this wooing or some of the interest that is being put out there on the side of Brady is to save him embarrassment if the market isn't as robust as you would think it would be for Tom Brady. When you start looking at it, breaking down the details of it, is it really a smart decision for your organization? I think there's a very good amount of teams out there who do not believe that Tom Brady is their answer. She also added the Titans are not all in on Brady. And the one team that does have legit interest, the Bucs, aren't too high on Brady's list, though.
Look, Diane is the NFL reporter. I'm not. So she very well may be right. I'm just not buying that fully. I'm sorry. I got to believe there's interest in Tom Brady. I really do. I think the Tennessee Titans are sincerely interested in Tom Brady. Because it's about winning Super Bowls. It's not about getting to the second round. It's not about being pretty good. And also, a lot of these teams and coaches know that oftentimes, every year, essentially, we see a team that made the playoffs and looked pretty good, like they might be building something, completely fall off. We saw Carolina go back and forth from playoffs to out of the playoffs to Super Bowl to out of the playoffs and so on and so forth. This year, we saw the Rams go from the Super Bowl to out of the playoffs. It happens all the time. Tennessee can't count on Ryan Tannehill doing what he did for the last 10 games of last season. Been in the league, 7 years? That's the best stretch he's ever had. We think he's going to play like that for the next 5 seasons? You think they're ready to lock themselves into Ryan Tannehill? Put Tom Brady with Derrick Henry, with some of those receivers, with that offensive talent in Tennessee, and they are contenders. Now, if some teams feel like, well, we still aren't beating Baltimore, we still aren't beating Kansas City, maybe I'll give you that. But I wouldn't expect Tennessee to feel that way because they weren't that far away with Ryan Tannehill. I also think Indianapolis, which I doesn't have much interest in Brady, they should be looking at him. And Tampa Bay, yeah, I can see Brady not having interest in them, but I'm sure they'd be interested in him. So, Rob, I'm not buying this. I think that a lot of people look at Tom Brady, and yes, he's not what he was 4 years ago. But I think if you give him some offensive talent like a lot of these teams have, I didn't even throw in the Chargers, then he would be better than most quarterbacks in the league.
First of all, I don't think her comments were that strong. There's a lot of maybes and all kinds of other things. If you, Rob G, read it again.
She said to save him the embarrassment
but
of
still,
teams not wanting him.
But it wasn't definitive to say Tom Brady will be embarrassed come free agency because nobody wants him. That's not what she said.
Read it, Rob G.
Read it, and I'll stop you when I get to the points where she's given herself, basically, she's not reporting anything. It's a half-hearted opinion.
That's right. Reading it again, guys. I don't think any of us have really considered that maybe some of this.
There you go. Stop. You just said it. Maybe. Did you hear that? Go read it again, Rob.
I don't think any of us have really considered that maybe.
There you go. There's her first one. Go ahead.
Some of this wooing or some of the interest that is being put out there on the side of Brady is to.
So she's saying put out by his side.
Is to save him embarrassment if the market isn't as robust as you would think for Tom Brady. When you start looking at it and breaking down the details of it, is it really the smart decision for your organization? I think there's a very good amount of teams out there who do not believe that Tom Brady is their answer.
Okay, I mean that. Now she said, "I think." I guess you can say that's an out.
That was the second one. Yeah, she didn't say.
I think she was saying teams aren't interested.
No, but she didn't say.
Because I saw it. I watched her, and she was talking as a reporter all morning.
Yeah,
I was watching the show.
It still was her opinion. She didn't say, I talked to several GMs around the NFL, and the interest for Tom Brady is 0 to none. If she, Chris, that's strong.
That's a stronger. I give you that.
I'm just saying.
But we reacted.
Maybe,
I mean,
and when you say I think, I'm just saying that it came across, and that this is always the question.
And she also did say too, Rob G. Didn't she say the Titans aren't all in on Brady?
That's right. They're not all in, and the one team that is confirmed
that's a statement.
Is the Bucs, but they're not too high on Brady's list.
But here's the other thing. Again, if they not all in, right? She's saying I'm not all in. There's still an out there if he winds up going there. That whoever was, she didn't say.
I'm not saying she said
didn't say
like people
the
think
Titans
he's a
are
bum.
out. The Titans are out. There's no way that they want Tom. I'm just saying.
But she did say that they're higher on Tannehill.
Yeah, but
she did say there's not. I mean, she implied whether it's a report or not.
I'm just saying.
She said there's
take
not
it
that
as,
much interest in him.
I didn't take it as that. I thought she was really just giving her opinion. I didn't take anything that she talked about as reported information. When you use maybe and I think and whatnot, it ain't about that. In that situation, when you're painting that picture, it's about what other executives and other people you've talked to in the league. I just think it isn't as strong as maybe people who put out a story. I don't know. Did they wrote stories about it, or was it just Rob G? Was it just about her opinion?
No, she just said it on Get Up.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But nobody wrote a story.
I mean,
no,
she was not putting out a report.
Right,
that
that's what I mean.
Teams don't want Tom Brady, but she was saying it's not that much interest in him.
I just think that there's a handful of teams, and I still believe, and I said it from the beginning, that the Chargers make the most sense. And it's not just – it's just because the Chargers need Tom Brady. They don't have a quarterback. They've already cut ties with Phillip Rivers. They have a brand-new stadium in Inglewood, California that's going to open up this season. They had trouble filling a small soccer stadium where fans came from the other teams, the opponents, and not for the Chargers. And now they're going to have this cavernous 80,000 seat stadium, and they don't have anybody to market to. So if you're going to take a chance on a 43-year-old quarterback, sell tickets, sell jerseys, you have a decent team, a top 7 defense, you have running backs, you have wide receivers, you can maybe I can buy that. I can't buy some of the other teams that are talking about Tom Brady. I don't think there's more than 2 or 3 teams, the idea that the 49ers were going to dump Garoppolo for Tom. I just don't buy into that. I think there'll be 3 opportunities for Tom Brady, and I still believe he'll wind up with the Chargers.
I don't think the Chargers make sense for Tom Brady. I get what you're saying from their side, but their offensive line, now maybe they'll improve it, but their offensive line was one of the worst in the league last year. He can't move. He ran a 5.6 at the combine. He probably runs about a 6'4" right now, 40. He can't move. He needs a line. I know they got weapons on the outside and in the backfield, but he needs protection, and unless they really strengthen that line, he's not going to get it. I also just don't think I don't see him going from the Patriots to the Chargers. I hate to say it, they haven't been that caliber of franchise. And I don't see him going somewhere for a payday. Yeah, I know he wants to get some money, but I think his biggest thing is he wants to try to win. He doesn't want to go somewhere that he doesn't have as much of a chance of winning, because then even despite his age, and I would say, look, if he doesn't win at 43 and 44 years old, who cares? I wouldn't hold it against him. Michael Jordan, nobody holds Washington against Michael Jordan, but some would. Some would say he was a system quarterback. He could only win with Belichick. So I don't think he wants to put himself in that position. I think he wants to put himself in a position where he can compete for a championship. And so I just think that I do think there are teams that want. I think Titans want him. I'm shocked that Indianapolis, I mean, from what we've seen, doesn't have interest. But if you're going after Phillip Rivers, why wouldn't you go after Tom Brady? Especially Frank Reich, who's the quarterback whisperer. But I also think, Rob, there's a good chance he'll wind up back in New England.
I just don't believe that. The more it goes on, I really don't.
Well, the reports are that New England wants him.
They could have been done a long time ago if they were really serious about Tom Brady. They don't have to allow him to be a free agent and go somewhere else and go.
Maybe they
field
let other
offers.
people set the market.
I'm just saying, I don't believe that. I still don't believe that he's going to wind up there.
So you don't think they want him?
I don't. I really don't.
They'd rather have Jarrett Stidham.
If they really wanted him, they could have done this with Tom. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to go talking about your free agency.
They don't want to break the bank for him.
Why not? He won 6 Super Bowls.
He's 43.
He's the GOAT.
I don't care.
Why not?
He's 43 or about to be 43. That's why. As much as I like him, I wouldn't, and they like him more than I do. And why break the bank for him? He's 43. I get it, but you still might want him. You're just not going to break the bank unless you have to. That's why you let the other team set the market. If somebody's willing to give him $35 million, maybe you reconsider. But it doesn't make sense to me to just give him that as a lifetime achievement. He's been paid. He hadn't been paid, the highest quarterback in the league, but he's gotten money, and plenty of money. You want to weigh in on Tom Brady? Is he washed? Like Dan Russini was implying that some people around the league may think. Let's start with Austin in Washington. Austin, welcome to the Odd Couple.
Yo, what's up, guys? Thank you for taking my call.
Yep, no problem.
I gotta tell you, for the first time in the history of me calling into you guys, I gotta agree with Rob Parker on this.
Wow.
The one that makes the most sense is gonna be the Chargers for two different reasons. One, the Chargers need to put butts in seats. They absolutely have to. They have been nothing but an embarrassment since they've moved to L.A. and the lack of being able to fill a freaking high school stadium. Number two, Tom Brady needs to cement his legacy by taking a team like the Chargers, or a franchise, mind you, that has never won a Super Bowl, and proving that he doesn't need Bill Belichick to be successful.
He needs. His resume is lacking? Really?
That's always going to be a question, though, Chris. It will always.
What were the Patriots before Brady? What were the Patriots before Brady?
They were a perennial playoff team with Drew Bledsoe.
Really? They were 5-11 the year before he took over.
They went to the Super Bowl with Bill Parcells as coach. They went to the
long
Super Bowl.
time before him. I'm talking about under Belichick. They were 5-11 and then 0-2.
But they went to the Super Bowl. It's not like Tom Brady.
Not with Belichick.
No, I'm talking about the organization.
Did they win it?
No, they lost to the Bears.
They were a mediocre franchise. And they were even worse than that under Belichick before Brady took over. Let's go to Tim in Fort Lauderdale. Tim, you're on with Chris and Rob.
Hey, guys. Great show. I love listening to you guys at night. Your meaningless banter, I love it. I know you guys are friends, but you keep stepping all over each other. You got to take turns. Hey, man, if the Patriots wanted him, they'd have signed him by now. And people aren't going to grab him to put butts in seats. They're not going to pay a $30 million investment to sell tickets. They all have marketing departments and marketing executives for that. The team that grabs him is going to be the perfect fit for him, and he doesn't need anything. He's got 6 Super Bowl rings. He doesn't need to solidify anything. He's not trying to get away from Belichick to prove a point. He wants to play 2 more years and be successful. He's going to step into the right setting for him.
I agree with that. I think that's a good call.
I don't agree with that totally. I still believe that money is an issue because of a respect thing, not for the amount, but just the respect thing that he never got paid.
I do think he wants respect.
He does.
But you think he's trying to be the highest paid in the league?
I just think he wants a big contract for those 2 years, and that's what he wants. And he's not going to get it with the Patriots, and he's going to wind up not being there. That we're coming down. He's going to be a free agent in a couple days, right? Isn't it the 12th? March 12th?
Is it the 12th?
It's coming up.
18th.
Okay. I know it's coming up. So
the 12th is the last day you can franchise a guy.
Okay. Yeah, he can't be franchised,
right.
though.
Let's go to Tom in Maine. Tom, you're on with the Odd Couple.
Hey, guys. All right, so first of all, that caller 2 callers ago is an idiot. Brady has nothing to prove.
Right.
Before Brady came to the Patriots, I was around for Grogan. I was around.
Right.
They sucked.
Right.
They
And
sucked
they did
before-
get to a Super Bowl
they got
under
nothing.
Grogan.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got
but they
beat.
sucked.
Right. I
But-
agree.
But when I turned my radio on, I thought I was hashtag Seinfeld reference in Bizarro World. Rob, you were defending Brady and saying how good he is and what he needs to do.
No,
Like, what happened to you?
Nothing. I'm just saying that I think that the Chargers would be like I look at it from all the aspects. A, they have the money to pay. B, they need to sell tickets. They have some of the pieces around that Brady's looking for, a running game and some wide receivers that I'm just saying from that standpoint. They own a home in Southern California, I think in Orange County. There's a lot of that stuff that all makes sense to me with the Chargers. That's all. And I think the Chargers will be desperate enough to put out the money that Brady's looking for.
All right, let's go to Andre in Massachusetts. Andre, you're on with Chris and Rob.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I have to agree with Rob that Rossini's report is insightful, but it's incomplete because she leaves out the two most likely destinations for Tom Brady. You've already talked about the Chargers, and it's been brought up. They have no identity. They have no mojo. They have no swagger. And they also have no freaking quarterback in a big stadium to fill. So that's A. But then B, she also leaves out the Las Vegas. I didn't say the Oakland. I said the Las Vegas Raiders, okay, who also have a new stadium to fill and a quarterback who they don't believe in and a coach who has a 10-year deal. Okay, so you bring in Brady, and then you draft the quarterback. And you kill two birds with one stone. So Rossini, in terms of, yes, the Tennessee Titans may not be willing, and San Francisco 49ers, because they already have younger quarterbacks, so their system, works and they win. But she said nobody has interest in Brady. You left out the two most likely destinations, and obviously he doesn't want to go to Tampa Bay and be in a swamp. He wants to go to a major market, and those are two major markets where he could come in, and it would be a win-win economically and athletically. So, okay, it's sensational, but very incomplete. I got to agree with Rob on this one.
Yeah, I don't. You like him in Vegas, Rob? I don't.
Not so much.
They don't
Vegas,
need
but
him to sell. They've already sold all the tickets. So
right. But
I don't like him
as
in
far
Oakland.
as a splash, but
Yeah.
that's all it would be. But I don't know. I still believe. I think that her appearance was a little like you said. How many teams does she really think Brady was going to have? There's only going to be 4 or 5 teams. Most people
other
have
guys,
their quarterbacks.
I think was it Jeff Darlington saying 8 teams are interested
I
and
think
4
that's-
would sign him right now.
I think if you told me 4 or 5 teams was interested, I would buy that number.
All right, let's go to Sean in Sacramento. Sean, you're on with Chris and Rob.
My uncle's from another mother, man. Hey, Rob, you needed that trip, man. You got your takes all the way back, man, once you went on that little trip. I had to ask you, though, man, between the trip to Antarctica and the Golden Girls cruise, which one was more dry? Which trip was way more dry, man?
What do you mean dry?
I was going to ask you the same thing. What do you mean dry?
I think it kind of speaks for itself. You're on that Golden Girls cruise. I heard it wasn't what it lived up to, what you were hoping for, according to Chris and the gang while you were gone, man.
We were just saying we looking at the pictures.
Okay.
That's all we said.
Sean,
Okay,
man,
well,
terrible, man, terrible.
I might need to go on a Golden Girls cruise. I've got your takes back, man.
Stay away.
Real quick on the take, I think Rob hit the nail on the head, man. Los Angeles makes sense for so many reasons, but they're both going to be mutually dependent on one another. Tom needs that big market, not just to be somewhere that's going to appreciate him and be good for his brand, but also think about his wife. Think about who's running that household. Think about how many times she's threatened to make him retire and all those things because of head injuries. Maybe this was a good way to compromise, get where she wants to be, and at the same time let him play a couple more years. But above all that, LA's in a brand new stadium, fellas. They need to fill those seats, and you just lost one of the biggest names in your franchise's history. What better way to replace that than TB12, you know?
What's happening, y'all? It's Chris Broussard.
I'm Rob Parker.
And we are
The Odd Couple. Check us out as often as you can on YouTube.
And always remember, I'm Oscar, and he's Felix.
Oh, man, are you serious?